in my pool and that. Oh man.
Good times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what is changing at Uptown during this time?
Well, Puffy's transitioning to Bad Boy. You know, it was like you saw a change, but you ain't see a drastic change. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I wanted to go and really just get deep with Father, find me. Because the fame and everything was cool, and it still is cool. Because I had a different type of fame. I think like I didn't change. I didn't change the dough. The women. I had women. It's just that before I was father MC, I had the chicks, but I had a different slew of the chicks. Like instead of the project chicks, I had the project chicks that turned models and celebrities. So, I mean, that was nothing, And I always that's why I still stay. Like people tell you, I used to, with the celebrity and the fame, I was in Harlem. Chilling. I'd just be in Harlem instead of being in Harlem and got to catch the train to go back home. I'm in Harlem sitting on my Range Rover chilling in front of the Apollo.
Right.
I wasn't really doing, and every time I came home from tour, I used to go to the beach, grab me a 40 ounce by myself and just go to the beach and get on the boardwalk, sit on the chair. And I'd go and get my DJ Mo Better. He was, before he was my DJ, because we was letting go of my other DJ. So every time I come home from tour, I just call Mo Better and say, yo, meet me. And we go on the beach, we get 40s and we just sit and just chop it up like it was nothing.
Right.
It wasn't going to the parties and I did it though. We did go to the parties and to get the love, but it was more of just enjoying time and like, damn, I did it. Like I really did it. I think more of anything, I think I shot myself. You know what I'm saying? I think I shot myself, yeah. And it came true. That's why when people be like, I be like, man, I'm telling y'all, it can happen. If you put this work, man, you put this work into it, it can happen. You know what I'm saying? Just got to keep doing it and don't let that door hit you in your face. Sometimes you may have to get hit in the fucking face to wake up, to be like, yo, like when Kurt Whitley, I take all of that. Kurt Whitley telling me, change my words. Hey, to a point where I had to soak it up and I had to pay for studio. You are your best investment. Your best investment, man. Invest in everything that you got popping, because you either got to do one or two things. You're going to win or lose. One of the two. People in this corona, God bless this corona and the people, y'all be safe out there. But people see me and I'm buying all this tissue, right?
Right.
I tell people, I say that, yo, I'm going to shit for the rest of my life. I can't lose by buying all this tissue, no matter how you look at it. So what the tissue? Shit scared me until I thought about it one day. I was going to Costco to buy all this tissue. And I said, wait a minute, man. I'm at the door and the guy, they had ran out. The guy came out and said, well, there's no more toilet tissue. I've been waiting for like an hour and change. I said, man, then a light went on. You got a washing machine and dryer. If something really go down, you got washcloths. That was it. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here, buddy. At the end of the day. And that's what I just was thinking, like, if it really goes buck fucking wild, I got washcloths.
Right. So what eventually happens to your relationship at Uptown, and where does Father MC find himself at next?
I went to Atlanta, and Andre, after the third album, I asked to be released. I asked Andre to be released. Andre wouldn't give me a release, would not give me a release. So I was like, I'm chilling. I ain't doing no promotion, nothing. And it wasn't no beef. It wasn't nothing. He just wouldn't release me. Me and Dre born on the same day too, September 26th. So I'll never forget, you know, in Chicago, they had a tour date for a Heavy D, and not Heavy D, Christopher Williams had a tour date, and for Valentine's Day, and the radio station was crazy. They said, "Yo, you know, Chris, rambunctious. He's like, man, fuck, I'm doing what I want to do."
Hey, you're cutting out. You're cutting out. Can you log off and log back on so we can catch this story?
Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to miss this story. It got kind of choppy and stories are getting real good here, so he'll be right back. Hope everybody's enjoying this history lesson, episode 112. All right. Back in business.
Oh, okay. So what was I saying?
You had a good story about Andre not releasing you. Didn't want to release you.
They had a show for Christopher Williams, and Christopher was nuts. And he said, cursed out the people at the radio station. I ain't doing the show. So he didn't get on a plane to go to Chicago. It was Chicago or Detroit, I forget. So they called me. And I said, well, no. I said, get Heavy D. Get somebody, you know. And Jimmy Jenkins was like, yo, they don't want Heavy. They want a sex symbol. And you the only one they said they'll take from Uptown. I was like, that was my bargaining power. I said, okay, check this out. I'll do it let me speak to Andre. I said, get Dre on the phone. And Jimmy, I'll never forget, Jimmy was like, oh, come on, Flaw. Here we go with this. I said, get him on the phone. Y'all want me to go? It's only, you know, I got to get prepared. They had a limo outside my house waiting. Like they knew I was going to say yeah. They had my dancers in the limo already headed to the airport. This is how crazy they were. I said, yo, Dre. I said, let me go. And when he looked at me, I'll never forget on the phone, he said, yo, you serious? I said, man, come on, Dre. I just, you know. And he said, all right. And I knew that my guy, now he played with me, my ex-bodyguard, Pedro. He said, he just texted me and said, my Wi-Fi sucks. It's not me. It's not me. But anyway, so I went and I did the show, killed the show. And I'll never forget, Dre was letting go of Uptown anyway. Because Motown came to him and gave him 60 mil. That's how he gave it to Heavy D. And then I get the call when I'm in Atlanta, and he said, he flew me up to New York and said, I want you to work for Motown. I want you to work now. I want you to be, but gave me a figure I couldn't refuse. But then they got into turmoil with something, and the Motown situation evaporated. But Dre had it to a science. He was getting all of the hot producers, hiring them, giving them jobs. So he had the master plan that was so incredible to me, man. He couldn't lose. You hire all of the hot producers, like you hire every one of them, give them a job. And in your job description, you got to produce for these artists. So you're not only saving money because that's your description and your job, but you making the company Motown bigger than ever. And I'll not forget when Dre took executive producer off and he put chief. He just put chief. Like I said, Dre is bugging. And we used to sit down and talk, man. We used to sit down and talk. And then, you know, after the Motown thing, you know, everybody went their way, but still stayed in touch. And we had a good time. We had a good time. Me and Dre would see each other in LA or New York or wherever we be. We see each other. And me and Dre was known to crack jokes on people. Like, and Dre, I would keep going because Dre laugh would have me dying. And he'd just shake his head and just be like, and it worked like it wasn't, like it was a friendship. Like it was a friendship more than, like I say, I never had an argument with Dre. Never.
Right.
Never had an argument with Dre. If we had a disagreement, we'd be still cracking jokes later. And Dre would call me and say, yo, we going to wherever. Like, we need you to go get packed up money. We going these. They had models. They had models everywhere. Oh my God. Ooh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Can you take us back to the decision to get back in the game and link up with Mission Records?
They gave me a lot of dough. They gave that's all that move was. They just gave.
Okay.
Man, I forgot about them. You did your work. I forgot about them.
What about in '95 with Top Dog Recordings for Sexual Playground? Okay.
That was me. So I just wanted to just put it out there because that was going to be an imprint under Uptown. Uptown was giving me a deal, a label deal. And my record was Top Dog Entertainment, Top Dog Records, because, you know, the cat, now the dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then, of course, you got another, they knew I had this group called 5 Deep. And all I'm saying is they was coming. They were coming. They were coming. But, you know, you can't have two Jodeci's on a label.
Right.
You know, so, you know, it is what it is.
In 1999, you linked up with Street Solid Records?
Street Solid. No, Street Solid was, that was before. That was way before. That's the label that got me off.
What about No Secrets? Was that way before?
Oh, Street Solid. No. That wasn't. Yeah, you're right. Street Solid was LA. That was in LA. That's when me and my manager came down to LA, and they also offered something but I did one-offs. I never wanted to be in 5 years. Like, give me 5 years or a 4-year contract. This is what we're going to do. You're going to give me this amount. I will never forget, I walked out the office. They offered me something, and I said, well, with Street Solid, I made them buy me a house. I made them give me a cat. They offered me a deal. This is how it went down. My guy called me. I was living in Atlanta. My guy calls me. He was leaving Atlanta, going to work. And he was like, yo, he called me, and I was his ticket. So he said, yo, I just want you. I'm going to have them fly you in. Well, so I'm like, all right, let me go exercise, see what's going on. So I went to the office. I knew my work, and I was just like, you know, I knew what they needed. And they was doing a soundtrack, so they needed me on that soundtrack. I waited for the number to come. The number was crazy. So I just, you know, the white boys in the office, I just got up. You win when you're not afraid to shake somebody's hand and say, yo, I appreciate y'all. At the end of the day, they ran. He ran. I'll never forget, my man BJ ran in back of me. He's like, father, wait. Because he had to. But the white boys was looking at him like, my man. So he's like, yo, I said, man, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a deal that I know they're going to turn down. So, you know, I just don't want to put you in a bad seat. And you know, he was my dude. So he was like, nah, man, just tell me what I could do. So he went there, and he's like, nah, he came back to me. He said, they ain't bite, man. He ain't bite. So I didn't put the house in it when I gave him the deal to go back. So I'm headed to the airport. Me and Jay, my manager, we headed to the airport. We at the airport, I kid you not, I get a call and says, yo, they rebooked you another ticket, you and Jay. Switched our hotels out. Said they want to have a real heart-to-heart with you in the morning. Can you do it? I'm like, I'm in LA. I'm like, yo, it's hot. Atlanta was cold. I said, Jay, we're going to chill. I made them now also get my manager a condo. I made them get him a condo. That meeting, I went in there for the juggler. I was saying stuff just to see what they was really going to do. Dude, we were out here 2 months later living in LA. living in LA, but I had a house, he had a condo, he lived like around 7, 8, 10 blocks from me. You know what I'm saying? The studio was right there. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I never forget, that's when all the studios was getting robbed in LA. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I got my baby moms with me. She was having my daughter. You get what I'm saying? Me and Jay at the studio. Every studio was getting robbed. Everyone. And I'm thinking like, damn, okay, we must be at the right joints. They ain't coming. Niggas just cave in like, heat, everything. And they kept saying, yo, turn around. And they told me and Jay, they said, yo, man, this ain't got nothing to do with y'all. It's personal. The studio robbed my boy. So, you know, they had niggas on the floor. They ain't do nothing to us. That's why only thing I remember them saying was, yo, was anybody packing heat? And my man had his burner on him too. He said, yeah, it's a little something in here. And they just said, yo, it ain't nothing against y'all. Y'all New York niggas, it ain't nothing against y'all. And they took it. They had the Chinese guy. I knew it was going down when I seen the Chinese guy. He just walked, the engineer. He just walked and did like this and sat on the floor. I was like, oh, shit. And you heard, because during the 2 months of us being here, you heard them putting niggas in bags. And I'm like, duct taping niggas. And I'm hearing this. I'm like, oh, man. I just say, God, let me just see my daughter, man. Let me see my daughter. When the cops came, they took everybody's ID. The niggas, they took everybody's ID. I had a brand new Rolex on. They ain't touched that. They wasn't robbing us. They wasn't robbing us. They took my man's heat though, but they wasn't robbing us. They just took everybody's IDs, everything. And I think they knew who we were though. You get what I'm saying? Because the way it was like a respecting, but it was, we ain't come for y'all. You know what I mean?
Right.
And dude, cops came and was asking questions. I was like, man, my ID is gone. I already knew I'm hitting Atlanta, packing this shit up, hitting ATL. I'm gonna get me another ID. It's easy. License is easy. We out of here. I told Jay, I said, Jay, you might as well. I don't know what you doing, money, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. I gotta see my daughter raise up, man. I ain't got time for this shit. We out here. We ain't local. We ain't home. There's no way we can move and react to shit like that. And if that happened once, that shit could happen over and over. So
absolutely.
Yeah, did it go? Okay. So we decided, my baby mom, she was like about to burst. Put her on the plane. I had my cats from New York fly in, and we had her car in back of the Penske. We rented the Penske, and never forget, we drove her to the airport. Made sure she got to the airport. We ain't have apartment, house, condo, nothing. She's like getting ready to bust, 8 and something months pregnant. They ain't even know. We lied to them and told her she was 6 months or something. Dude, we packaged that Penske. I don't know if you ever got into a Penske, but Penske got like in the middle, like this the driver's seat, and then right here next to me, there's a shaft, like open, where you can sit down like this. And then they had the other passenger seat. We packed that thing like a hotel. Like you could crawl in and you could sleep, like lay on the couch and sleep. We did not stop with that, her car in back of the Penske. And we got to Atlanta in 2 days. In 2 days from Cali. Just driving. And by the God's speed, man, we there, and it was blizzard. It was rain. It was crazy. She's crying because we got like 3 rooms of dudes in 3 rooms, and she crying because she's like, "What's going on?" I just went to the Kroger's and got a apartment guide book, and they had these condos. And I said, I'm going out. And I said, come on, babe. And it was me and her, left all the cats there. We went to this spot, and for some reason, I think he was an angel, man. Like, for real, because the man, he wasn't supposed to let us go and move in to this. It's all elaborate. Like, it was crazy. And he says, we'll handle all of the stuff come Monday. This was a Saturday night. We moved in. I'll never forget. We moved in. Like, they could have just been like, yo, no, whatever. And the funny part is I didn't have the dough on me because it was the weekend, and all of my dough was with Bert Padell, my accountant in New York, and he would have to do it. And I already knew once I got Bert on the phone, it would be cool. They could handle whatever they need to handle. The
Right.
man let us in, dude. We settled in, boom, that was that. And that was that. And then it got thicker. Because then father's in Atlanta now. You know, I'm doing my Atlanta thing and Miami thing, you know, and I just started enjoying it, you know?
Right.